Perfect. Thank you, Susan. I'm going to start with Mike Picardi.
Bye-bye. Good night. Bye.
I don't see Mike. Absent. Stacy Rizzo. Stacy, can you hear us?
You doing?
I'm here just in case you didn't hear me.
Thank you. Susan Gravellisi.
Here.
Dr. Kelly, I'm going to note as absent. Carl Svensson. Christopher Bowen.
Here.
Rich Viscay. Don't see him. Don Ciramella. Oh. Rich Viscay.
Here.
Perfect timing. Don Ciramella, I'm going to note as absent. Nick Rystrom. Absent. Mayor Keefe.
Here.
Thank you. Tom Skorowski, no one's going to be absent. John Stamatopoulos. Absent. Anthony Cogliandro.
Here.
Oh, there you are. Boxes keep moving on me. Don Martelli.
Here.
Joshua Miranda.
Here.
And Chris Sermala.
Here.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. We definitely have a quorum. I'm going to manage the buttons. And Brian, if you want to share and take over from here.
Will do. So we have a relatively short agenda tonight. We're going to do a very high level update on the 90% construction document update. Ultimately, we'd like to seek committee approval to submit the 90% CD package to MSBA. And then we have two little housekeeping budget revision requests to go through afterwards. So I'm going to jump right into the 90% CD update. Let me try to get this full screen for a second. So this is a good news, bad news update. Where's full screen? So the three main pillars of what's in any of these MSBA submissions, we've gone through a bunch of these to date on this project. Most recently, the 60% construction document update, design development into MSBA. The three pillars are the scope, the cost, the budget, and the schedule. There's no changes to the scope. Everything that the committee has seen, the design subcommittee has seen, is still intact in the documents. The design is intact. On the cost side, we, as usual, have two estimates run. The Consigli 90% CD estimate is showing at about 8.8 million under the full approved budget, and the PM&C peer estimate is showing at 12.3 under the budget. Those two combined are what keep me confident that we're on the path to achieve the $10 million reduction this committee has talked about, and I think overall are good news. The less good news is the schedule part of the update. And what I would like to say is there's a few people not on this meeting, including Dr. Kelly, that I've sort of debriefed on this and have been involved with discussions. But the real short story is that we're at 90% projecting that the project's not going to be able to make the August-September 2028 occupancy date, and that we are going to be forecasting that the move-in is going to happen at the holidays at the end of 2028, most likely meaning first day of class just after the new year. And in a nutshell, and I invite the other people from the team to sort of follow me up here, and if we want to go into more detail, we certainly can. But in a nutshell, this is related to the complexity of resolving ground improvements to the soil conditions at the Wonderland site. We cleared permitting in just about the time we thought. We got the bid documents for earthwork and structure out a little bit around where we thought, and started receiving a lot of questions about how the soil improvements, mostly from a structural perspective, are going to be implemented for this design that was bid. And that sort of set us into a couple of months of an expanded testing program that we brought a bunch of proposals to this committee to authorize of basically digging more holes, doing more sampling. The amount of time it's taken to get resolution on that and the amount of time that that's resulting in what I would call soil management before the contractors are just getting out there and digging and pouring foundations really wasn't accounted for properly in the schedule that showed a summer move. So we've lost a handful of months in this going from bidding to resolving the approach to ground improvements with the subcontractor to having a definitive schedule. And we don't believe that schedule at this point is recoverable for a summer move. So budget's in good shape, the scope's in good shape, the schedule got to the I know all summer you were hearing me say schedule, schedule, schedule is mainly in terms of permitting. The soil conditions are a little bit into the unforeseen category. We had to get full permission to utilize the whole site. We had to get this bid out. And since those milestones have happened is when we've lost some months here. So I'll take a step back from that update, see if anyone from the team wants to chime in and see if anyone has any questions or wants further detail.
Brian, this is Mayor Keefe. I just wanted to kind of, obviously share some of the perspective as, you shared with us this instance just a couple days ago in preparation for the call. Unforeseen, but not fully unexpected. I would just kind of reemphasize whenever you're dealing with a 3-year project, there's always going to be little blips in the radar that can cause a domino. So me being a little bit more optimistic, certainly not, I'm very happy that 3 of the 4 pillars are positive. This one being a schedule is one that we're going to try to work backwards from. And I know that Consigli and left field and everyone on the ground is going to try and pick up days so that we can avoid having any further disruption and or potentially maybe get some pleasant surprises. But it's not unheard of to have a 3-year project and one, when Brian brings up soil, this is on a large site, as you know, the size of the space, being extra cautious on where the soil gets moved so that it when you're taking soil off the site, it's going in the right categories, because as we know, any soil changes in Revere or any heavily urban trafficked area is going to have conditions with them where they go. Some of it can go into regular fill, some of it can go into other fill, some of it needs to leave the state. And that's just how that we dealt with it, the DPW, and in prior lives have dealt with it with other large scale construction. So that's well known in Massachusetts and any area around here. But I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware that the good news is the finances still seem to very much line up and very favorable, because the bidding environment has been extremely favorable. Tough one. And I'm as you mentioned, I'm sure there are going to be questions, but this is what we sort of unpleasantly expect, just like when we were planning this high school 10 years ago. There's always been a little something to come.
Thank you, Mayor Keefe. Just any other comments from the team or the committee? I will say, I think that Mayor Keefe alluded to, we're going to keep leaning into this. We're going to try to better the projections we have today, but we feel the responsible thing to do at this point is to acknowledge that summer move has just got to the bending point, past the bending point to the breaking point, and we'll do everything we can to better the schedule. But I think the right thing to do now is to disclose to the committee that summer move at this point does not look like it's achievable. If there are no questions, we could move on. Well, actually, let me just prep. Ultimately, that's the only impactful update in the MSBA submission. We would ultimately like to seek a motion to submit the 90% package that includes that schedule update to the MSBA. We're ready to get that to them tomorrow, but we want a committee blessing. So if there are no questions, we'd entertain a motion to submit the 90% construction document package to the MSBA.
Brian, I make a motion to submit the 90-day package, please.
It's good.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. For the roll call, Mike Picardi is absent. Stacy Rizzo,
Yes.
Susan Gravellisi,
Yes.
Carl Svensson,
Yes.
Christopher Bowen,
Yes.
Rich Viscay, Rich Viscay, can you hear us?
Sorry, muted, yes.
Thank you, Rich. Mayor Keefe,
Yes.
Anthony Cogliandro,
Yes.
Don Martelli,
Yes.
Joshua Miranda,
Yes.
Chris Ciaramella.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you very much, everyone.
Good, Linda. I'm going to take the screen back for just our next two quick agenda items. These are accounting housekeeping items. So we've processed 10 budget revision requests to date. The most recent one was actually to align the left field allowances. A lot of the allowances in our approved contract are the type of allowances that we'd spend during the design phases, being that we're completing the design phase and moving into full bidding and construction. We're at the point where those allowances get so messy that we need to clean them up. BRR 11 is to clean up Perkins Eastman contract. Last month we cleaned up left fields. And again, this is a accounting reconciliation between lines in the Perkins Eastman contract. This is not bringing in any new money. It's not tapping any contingency. It's not removing any money. I will put the BRR forms that I've showed you before are relatively boring, but I've lost control of my screen. 1 second. So this is the actual BRR form that lists out each category within the approved contract where money is going to and from. This will help us keep the both MSBA budget accurate to how the billings have happened and the Munis budget with Rich and his staff. So there's 5 different moves within the approved Perkins Eastman contract that need to happen to align it all correctly. Secondly, I'm just going to go through both of these because we can do one motion for both. Secondly, we have BRR 12, which is related to builder's risk. The city has procured the builder's risk insurance policy outside of the construction contract. We had always carried a $2 million plug in the construction contract, that $412 million number that everyone's always seen. And we cannot bill it against that line because it's in the construction category. That all has to be within Consigli's line. So this BRR is simply to move the $2 million for that builder's risk plug from the construction category to the owner's insurance line in the MSBA budget. It'll also allow Rich and his staff to do that in Munis, and we'll bill it against that policy, that line in the budget rather. So the premium for that policy ended up about 1.6 million. It's about $100,000 savings to procuring it through Consigli. So in the end, this was done partially because there's some savings to be had from the city engaging the insurance agent directly. But that does create about 300. I did the math wrong. But savings against the 2 million. So the delta between 2 million and this 1.6 number will be carried as savings for now on the owner's insurance line. So BR 11 aligns Perkins Eastman contract, doesn't move any money in or out. BR 12 moves the $2 million plug for builder's risk out of the construction contract and into the owner's insurance line. Any
Motion
questions
to
on these
approve.
moves? Oh, thank you, Stacy. Yep.
Motion to approve BRR 11 and 12. So moved.
I will second that motion.
Thank you very much. Motion made by Stacy Rizzo, seconded by Susan Gravellisi. For the roll call, Stacy Rizzo,
Yes.
Susan Gravellisi,
Yes.
Carl Svensson, Carl, can you hear us?
I said yes.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Christopher Bowen,
Yes.
Rich Viscay,
Yes.
Mayor Keith,
Yes.
Anthony Cogliandro,
Yes.
Don Martelli,
Yes.
Joshua Miranda,
Yes.
Chris Ciramella.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that's all the formal business we had tonight. We'll do a public comment and then go to any new business.
Brian, can I
Um,
make a comment before public comment?
Sure, go ahead.
We just, at our Monday, subcommittee meeting there, we just, made a point to make sure that we got our Ts crossed and Is dotted on the reimbursement not being lost by moving that builder's risk out, and we were looking to make sure we get something in writing to hang our hat on as opposed to someone just saying so without the proof. So just wanted to put that on the radar. Thank you.
Yep. Risk, Rich, sorry. And the word risk has been on my mind so much lately. But the MSBA, as you indicated, has said via email they're okay with reimbursing for that once it moves. However, this form is the one we're going to use to chase with them. That form will come back to us with confirmation of that. So we'll send that over to them once it's executed and preempt it with a reminder of, hey, you already said this was going to be eligible, but we will follow up on that and ensure that that is still eligible for reimbursement.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Rich. If there's any public comment, name and address for the record. I'm going to look around for hands. Seeing none, I will move to any new business from the committee or other business. If there is none, we would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you. See
Brian.
you soon.
Recording stopped.